Permission to record. Okay, as we move into the topic reflective, proactive, and continuous leadership movement, it is important to understand that leadership in public administration is not static or fixed. No? So public leaders operate in environments shaped by changing policies, evolving citizen expectation, and constant accountability. So effective leadership, therefore, require a habit of reflection, the initiative to act ahead or problems, and a commitment to continuous improvement. This topic emphasizes that public leaders do not wait for crisis to evaluate themselves. They regularly assess their decision, leadership style, and their impact on people and institution. For master in public administration student, this discussion connects theory directly to practice. Reflection allow us leaders to learn from experience. Proactive behavior enables them to anticipate challenges, and continuous improvement ensures long-term effectiveness in public service. And these qualities are especially critical in government rules where mistakes affect public trust and service delivery. With this framework in mind, I now invite the presenter to discuss the core concept, strategies, and real-world application of reflective, proactive, and continuous leadership improvement in public administration. Go ahead.
Good morning once again, Doc Marmelo Abante, and good morning, classmates. My topic this morning is all about reflective, proactive, and continuous leadership improvement. Reflective and proactive leadership is becoming more widely acknowledged in the Philippines as being significant for directing a complicated environment that is influenced by both contemporary demands for innovation and adaptability and traditional cultural norms. To foster trust and advance development, leaders combine self-analysis and proactive action. Example, include leaders who focus on strategic planning, a clear vision, and ongoing learning to anticipate challenges and go beyond reactive problem solving to create resilient, innovative environments, as well as leaders who empower employees for development rather than merely requiring training. Sorry, excuse. Reflective leadership in the Philippines emphasizes self-awareness, empathy, and continuous learning, often within a relational context. This approach is significant for fostering authentic leadership that is grounded in empathy and collective purpose. First is self-awareness and empathy. Effective Filipino leaders understand their own biases and triggers, allowing them to manage the reactions under stress. Empathy and emotional intelligence help them guide the country's diverse cultural distinction and build strong, harmonious relationships with their teams, which is highly valued in a group-oriented society. Example of self-awareness, recognizing our own stress. Example, feeling overwhelmed because of heavy workload, and empathy, understanding others. Even though na stress tayo sa dami ng workload, dapat nandun pa din ang empathy or understanding natin sa mga nasa kasama natin sa team. Next is the learning from experience. Reflection allows leaders to learn from past successes and mistakes, identify patterns, and foresee future issues. Example of learning from experience, recognizing failures like missing deadlines and implementing changes, building trust by keeping confidences, observing other styles, actively seeking diverse feedback, and taking initiative on top projects to gain wisdom and develop significant skills like adaptability and communication. I do believe that effective leaders reflect, learn from mistakes, and apply those lessons to become more insightful and supportive. Next is the culturally tailored approach. Reflective practices help leaders blend traditional Filipino values like pakiramdam with professional practices, ensuring leadership remains culturally resonant while still meeting modern demands. Example, a culturally tailored approach involves adapting communication, decision-making, and feedback styles to align with the cultural norms and values of a team or region. Dahil sa isang team, iba-iba ang pinanggagalingan natin na regions. So iba-iba din yung culture na meron tayo. And mostly the personnel from outside Metro Manila, they are more sensitive and reserved than the people here in the city. Next is the proactive leadership. Proactive leadership involves anticipating future challenges and opportunities, planning ahead and inspiring teams to contribute to shared goals rather than merely reacting to problems as they arise. First is the anticipating challenges. Proactive leaders in the Philippines address structural challenges like limited access to training by implementing planned enhancement programs such as workshops and focused training sessions. Example of anticipating challenges involves using strategic foresight and proactive planning to prevent or mitigate future problems. Ito din yung mga na-experience ko from my previous head na they focus on problems. Once na nasabi mo yung problema, dun na lang naka-focus in the solution to the problem. Hindi doon nagpo-focus. Kaya ang nangyayari, yung problema is still problema pa din. Driving innovation and change. Proactive leadership is vital for implementing reforms and adapting to technological advancements. Example of driving innovation and change, creating a clear vision, fostering a culture of trust and experimentation, empowering teams through development and resources, collaborating across functions, and leading by example with transparency and adaptability. Dito naman po ang leader dapat kung ano yung kanyang instruction, yun din ang kanyang ginagawa. And dapat nakikita ng team yung kanyang sincerity as a leader sa bawat sinasabi at ginagawa. Next po is of a proactive leadership, building a proactive culture. Leaders foster a culture where employees feel safe to contribute ideas and take initiative, open by clearly communicating a vision and empowering teams with autonomy. Example of building a proactive culture means shifting focus from reacting to problems as they arise to anticipating challenges and opportunities and acting with foresight. Dito naniniwala ako as a leader, meron tayong 10% na human error palagi. And as a leader, iiwasan natin na sa bawat pagkakamali ng isa sa team natin yung naninisi or nilalaglag. Dapat nandun pa rin tayo sa bawat pagkakamali, nandun tayo to support our team. And leaders can foster this culture through a combination of personal example, strategic processes, and empowering their teams. Next is the continuous leadership improvement, involves combining global best practices with culturally nuanced approaches that value traits like getting along and genuine care. Medyo pasensya na po ang mga aso ay nagtatagulan. Dito po pumapasok yung pakikisama and malasakit. These strategies involve formal training programs, mentorship, leveraging technology, and fostering a culture of continuous learning to meet the demands of a dynamic economic and digital landscape. So these are the key areas for continuous leadership improvement. First is the emotional intelligence and adaptability. Leaders need strong soft skills like active listening, empathy, and adaptive communication to foster a sense of belonging and psychological safety within teams. Strong soft skills like as active listening, empathy, and adaptable communication are necessary for leaders to help teams feel psychologically safe and belonging in the said teams, lalo na po ngayon na prone ang mental illnesses. So, kailangan ng team natin yung, sabi nga, malawak na pangunawa and pangungumusta and tapik lang sa balikat. Yun lang tanong bago magsimula ang work na kamusta ka is malaking bagay sa ka-team natin. Next is the strategic thinking and agility. In a rapidly changing environment, agile leadership is crucial for swift adaptation. This involves decision-making and encouraging innovation to build organizational resilience. And next is the balancing global trends with local culture. Effective programs in the Philippines integrate international methodologies with indigenous management wisdom. This includes addressing the local concept of RIA when giving feedback and recognition to create a safe space for open communication. Tayo kasing mga Pilipino, nandun yung hiya natin na hindi natin masabi sa ka-group natin or ka-team kung merong dapat baguhin or improve dahil lang iniisip natin baka masaktan natin yung pride nila. Pero ako pag nagbibigay ng advice, sinasabi ko kagad na wala akong masamang tinapay. Ang hangad ko lang is ma-improve kung anong dapat baguhin. And sabi ko nga kung minsan ang katotohanan ay mahirap matanggap. Pero ganun pa man, we have to deal with it para mabago, mapagbago. Another is digital transformation competencies. Integrating digital leadership skills is essential as the workplace evolves. This includes technology for training, collaboration, and driving innovation through digital initiatives. As a leader, sa bilis ng pagbabago ng mga digital ngayon, ng teknolohiya, dapat ang leader ay nandun pa rin ang initiative na matuto at makasabay sa pagbabago. Next po is succession planning. The focus is shifting towards cultivating dynamic leadership ecosystems rather than rigid pipelines, involving a mix of traditional and AI-powered methods to ensure sustained growth and smooth transitions. In order to ensure sustainable growth and seamless transitions, the emphasis is now on developing dynamic leadership ecosystems rather than inflexible pipelines using a combination of conventional and AI-powered techniques. Para sa akin, as a leader, although ngayon ko lang din natututunan itong AI-powered, malaking tulong siya, but it does not necessarily mean na copy-paste ka. Malaking tulong siya kasi before, sa era namin, pag nag-aral ka, ikaw talaga ang makikreate ng say sa essay mo ng sentence mo. Pero dito kay AI, tutulungan ka niya, may guide ka na, pero aaralin mo pa rin siya na yung nakalagay doon is applicable pa siya na sasabihin mo and nakadepende sa personality mo kung paano mo i-adapt or i-deliver ang nakalagay kay AI. Next po is ethical and transparent leadership. To rebuild trust, training addresses authentic communication, ethical decision-making, and transparent leadership capabilities. Training focuses on ethical decision-making, transparent leadership skills, and genuine communication in order to restore trust, which has decreased globally. Dito naniniwala ako na dapat as a leader, kung meron kang mang sinasabi, dapat nararamdaman ng team mo ang sincerity ng sinasabi mo, hindi yung basta sinabi mo lang na parang technical na masabi. Next po is the strategies and initiatives. Organizations and educational institutions in the Philippines are implementing several strategies to promote continuous leadership improvement, and one of these is the formal training programs. Structured programs cover essential topics like communication, conflict resolution, and strategic planning, often delivered in blended formats combining in-person workshops and digital platforms. Organized programs address key subjects such as communication, conflict resolution, and strategic planning, typically offered in blended formats that combine face-to-face workshops with online platforms. Maswerte po ang mga leaders ngayon dahil marami ka ng pagpipiliang platforms para ka matuto or mag-grow. Na initiative mo na lang na matuto. Before kasi face-to-face lang. So kung galing ka from the provinces, pupunta ka ng city para sa learnings mo, para matuto ka, need mo pang mag-transport and then need mong maghanap ng kung saan ka makakapag-dorm. Today, medyo tipid ka na kasi maski nasa bahay ka lang. If you want to learn, matututo at matututo po tayo. Next is the mentorship and coaching. Pairing emerging leaders with experienced mentors provides guidance and constructive feedback, and one-on-one executive coaching is increasingly used to address individual growth opportunities. One-on-one executive coaching is being used more frequently to address individual growth opportunities, and matching up young executives with seasoned mentors offers direction and helpful criticism. Totoo naman po ngayon na yung ating mga young executive, lalo na pagdating sa technology is well versed and knowledgeable po talaga. Pero for me, hindi pa rin natin matatawaran ang experience na pinagdaanan ng ating mga senior mentors, lalo na yung wisdom na meron na po sila na pwedeng ma-share sa ating mga young executive ngayon, lalo na yung values. Next po is culture of continuous learning, encouraging ongoing education, workshops, seminars, and online courses helps leaders at all levels to pursue professional development. Leaders at all levels can pursue professional development by supporting continuing education, workshops, seminars, and online courses. Dito po kasi karamihan sa mga leader, lalo na yung 1 year na lang ay magre-retire na, parang hindi mo na may expect na mag-work ng ganong capacity dahil ang katwiran nila, pa-retire na sila. Pero sabi ko nga, sa ayaw mo at sa gusto, talaga naman kapag nasa government ka is magre-retire ka at the age of 65. Why not na mag-iwan tayo ng legacy and ipakita natin sa team natin na up to a day before ka mag-retire is nag-work ka pa din. evaluation and adjustment, regularly assessing the effectiveness of leadership development initiatives and making necessary adjustments ensures they meet evolving organizational needs. Meeting changing organizational needs is ensured by routinely evaluating the success of leadership development programs and making the required modifications. Dito po, naniniwala ako na kahit nandun ka na as a leader, dapat pa rin na ini-evaluate mo ang sarili mo kung yung dapat ba at tama ang nagagawa po natin as a leader. And industry-specific frameworks, sectors like education and the military are developing specific frameworks, such as the Harmonized Instructional Leadership Framework in Higher Education Institutions or the Philippine Army Transformation Roadmap to address unique challenges. Dito kasi na-address ng sa military and sa higher education at yung kung ano yung issues and concerns ng agency. And lastly, by adopting these different approaches, organizations in the Philippines are working to bridge leadership gaps and develop effective leaders for a challenging future. That's all po for my report. Maraming salamat po and hope na meron po kayong natutunan at nakuha. Hindi man 100%. Thank you po, Doc. And these
Okay,
are
so thank you so much, no, presenter, no. Reflective leadership improves, focuses on leaders' ability to critically examine actions, no, decisions, and outcomes to foster learning and growth, no. In public administration, this may involve a municipal manager reviewing how a policy implementation affected frontline employees and citizens, then adjusting future approaches based on lesson learned. No? Reflection helps public leaders avoid repeating mistakes, no? And encourages thoughtful, evidence-based decision, making that aligns with organizational goals and public values. Proactive leadership improvement highlights the importance of anticipating issues rather than merely reacting to them. No? A proactive public administrator, let's say for example, may identify early signs of staff burnout or budget constraint and introduce preventive measures such as workload redistribution or resource planning before problem escalates, no? Or before problems escalate. And this approach strengthens institutional resilience, no? And improve service continuity and demonstrate responsible stewardship of public service. So again, continuous leadership improvement integrates reflection and proactivity into an ongoing cycle, no, of development. Public administrators who commit to continuous learning, no, through training, through stakeholder feedback, and performance evaluation, remain effective in dynamic governance environments. So for public students, no, this topic reinforced that leadership excellence in public service is achieved not through authority alone, but through deliberate self-improvement, foresight, and sustained commitment to serving the public effectively and ethically. Okay? Thank you so much to our presenter.